Welcome back everyone. Today I have this 3x3 full flush and seamless glass piston door for you, which closes like this and opens like this. You can see the animation is really nice because I managed to synchronize everything, and the speed is also really fast for this kind of door. So if you look at the back, see all the plugs, pistons get pushed over, pull and push the glass back and forth, and then it will just get hidden again. So yeah, I think this door is really nice, so let's just show you how to make this. Alright, so you will need these materials here, and this time I actually color coded the door as well, so either use these blocks here, or just 51 of your preferred building blocks if you don't care about color coding. And you will also need some trash items for the droppers and for the furnace, but that can really be anything. Alright, so your building area will be 4 by 18 blocks and 9 blocks tall, but just keep in mind that your actual door blocks will be in front of this area, like this. Okay, so we start by placing in our pistons. So come to this right side here, go up 4 blocks and place 6 normal pistons, leave a gap and place 6 sticky pistons, and then just 2 more layers of stickies. We place our door frame in, like this. Come to this left side here, also go up 4 blocks, and here we just place 4 layers of normal pistons, like this, and 6 blocks, our 9 sticky pistons, like this, and our glass blocks in front. And this should be your layout. Okay, but before we actually start, let's remove this again, because when we test the door it will get messed up. Okay, so your input block will be right here, and we'll start with the light blue circuit, which is for controlling these pistons here, also for these pistons here in the hallway. Okay, so come up 1 block like this, then go up with slabs like this, and place the block here, and just dust on top. And so that this doesn't power too early, place a block here with a tripwire hook to redirect dust. Now we come up here next to the block, place a sticky with another block, 2 observers going down, 1 this way, we need a dropper hopper circuit, and just an item inside to silence it. 1 observer going down here, and 1 here. Now a block like this, a repeater on 2 ticks, into 2 observers going down with 2 rails on top, 1 more observer like this, a hopper here, and an block here, and then 2 observers. Alright, now for these bottom pistons here, we place 2 pistons like this, actually like this, then 2 observers here, 1 here, into a node block, the hopper next to it, then 2 observers going up, block down here with a repeater on 2 ticks, now a node block, observer like this, with a rail on top, 2 observers, and we just repeat the same thing again, and that should already be the extension circuit done. Yeah, it works. Alright, now to power these pistons in the hallway, we use this dust. So place dust like this L shape, and come up here where this observer is, place a piston on top, 2 observers like this, 2 repeaters, and set the second one to 2 ticks. And now we need a sticky piston redstone block, just placed like this, which will power this dust. Now to power the pistons on the bottom, we'll push over 3 observers into the floor, then push them back. And to push them over, we use this folded triple extender, and to push them back, we just use these 3 pistons like this. Alright, now to power this, we'll use another slider. So on the same level where this piston here is, place 1 down here, then place 5 blocks, a redstone block, another block, and an observer, and a piston here, and then 2 blocks like this, and a sticky piston like this. And if I activate it, you can see that it gets pushed back, and this will 0 tick. Alright, now we actually need to activate this piston right here instantly on both edges. So how to do this? Well, on the closing. We simply power it like this. Then we push down this block, which will cut the signal and unpower it again. But this powers now, so we have to redirect the dust, but we'll do this later. But first we need to place something else down here, which is this dropper and hopper, in which we'll place an unstackable item. Then block here with a comparator, a slab and dust. And as you can see, powers now on both edges. So we can place a block here and trap by a hook like this. Alright, now for the extra slider extension, there's a dust here. Now a piston like this. Observer here, 2 blocks like this and dust. And this little circuit here, the redstone block, was actually made by Tim Lowell on the Synergy server. Just a really nice way to get the half-tick delay which we need right here. Right, now we need to power this again, for which we'll use this observer, which gets activated by these rails. And now all that's left here is to power this piston when it's down here, for which we'll use these 2 observers going down, and then one like this. Now just extend your door frame, like so. Come back here, go up 1 block with dust, place a sticky piston with a block, 1 observer like this, and 1 like this. A block right here, 3 pieces of dust into a hopper, an observer, a block here with dust, and then a rail. And this rail you have to be careful. If you change the blocks in the hallway and break this, you just have to replace it. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so just push this back right now. This should be the extension done. And now all that's left on this side is to retract this normal piston again. This normal piston right here when it gets pushed back. And to do this, we place a block here with a repeater on 4 ticks, block with dust to a node block, and then also we need a tripwire hook right here for later. Alright, so this is already the extension done, so we just need to push this back now. So just manually push it back like this. And now to push it back, actually we place an observer like this, then update a piston here, 2 observers here, 1 like this, repeat on 3 ticks, and then 3 observers like this, and dust here, and that should already be the slider done. Looks good. So if we just place pistons here and test, see they're all 0 tick, and yeah. So that's actually already it for the light blue circuit, and we can move on to the blue circuit. Okay, so the blue circuit will be for controlling these top 2 rows of the triple. So just remove these pistons here so we have room to work with. And we'll start off by placing 8 observers pointing downwards like this. Another 2 like this. Now we need some repeaters, which we place like this, all on 2 ticks, 1 on 1 tick here. And 2 normal pistons like this, an observer here, no block like this. And this will control most of the triple. So if I just demonstrate this, so if we are in this position here and power this block, this will all retract, and this is also responsible for a lot of the extension. So we can just power this circuit here twice, and then add some extra things, and that's already it. So yeah, now to control this right here, we use this dropper with an item inside, and then a furnace below with a different item in the top slot, just to silence it. But we actually only want this here to power every second time, but right now it would always power. So what we do is we place a sticky piston right here, redstone block here. So this dropper will always be powered by this redstone block basically. So no matter how much I power this line here powers, and if I move the redstone block, it actually activates. So this is just a really nice way to control which line we power basically. Alright, now for these 2 observers we will just have an observer like this and a hopper right here. Alright, now to power this, we come down here where the sticky piston is and place a block. observer like this, rail, another observer, and now we need some scaffolding and a trapdoor, which we will place like this. So this is just to get a 1 game tick delay, and an observer here with a block and a piston, and this already powers this here. And now to power this, we'll use this piston, this observer, and this block. And because we only want to power this every second time, we'll just pull and push the piston depending on which we want to power. Alright, so now we also need to keep these pistons here extended for a bit longer, because otherwise they will retract too fast. And we also need to power this line. And we will start by powering this line here. So we come to the left side and place a piston here, 2 observers, a sticky piston here, and now we need a log, some leaves, which we place like this, which is also just to get a 1 game peak delay, observer here, and then 2 repeaters on 3 ticks, sticky piston down here, then we need a cauldron and water, and actually keep this at the 2nd level. And then a comparator here. This will be for the extension of the pistons, so like this. Now we need to keep these extended for a bit. So what we do is we come here, where this dust goes down from the block, place an observer, and 2 repeaters on 2 ticks each. The observer, we need a slab, which we place like this, and a 2 tick repeater, the observer, a block down here with dust. Now we need a target block, and then we place an observer pointing to the right here, 2 tick on top, a node block, and then block. And this should be it for this. And we also use this observer to control the toggle here, so just place 3 additional observers like this. And now all that should be left is to power this piston here and this observer. And we start with this observer here, for which we'll come back here, place a piston like this, with an observer. We place 5 blocks like this, and 5 repeaters, and set all of them to 2 ticks. Now an observer, another 2 tick repeater, another observer, and a hopper right here. And now for this piston, we will power this 4 tick repeater, and to actually power it, we'll have this normal piston sideways like this, observer, 1 tick repeater, another observer, into a sticky piston, then observer like this. And we can actually test it right now, so just place 2 rows of extenders like this with blocks. And if we click this one should activate and retract. Well, not fully, because we also need the 2nd pulse here. But if we test this again, just to see if the front one works, yeah. So we just need to add in our 2nd pulse, which is really simple. We just place a piston like this. Alright, and when the door is open, you want this block to be here. Alright, so let's just test it again and see if it works. Looks good. Yeah. As you saw, it wasn't synchronized, but in the finished door it will be synchronized, because these pistons will start 1 block later, or like 1 block further to the right. Alright, so that's actually it for the blue circuit, and we can move on to the pink circuit now. Okay, so the pink circuit is for the bottom row of extenders, obviously. And again, we placed 8 observers, but facing up this time. And then another 2 right here. And then we also need 2 blocks like this, with torches, which are used to power these pistons right here. Now to control these torches, we will just power them with repeaters, like this. Block here with a torch and dust. Okay, and we will actually start off by controlling this torch right here. So come back to the left side, where this piston is, and place an observer like this, a sticky piston. And then we need a log and leaf right here, which will activate this observer. from which we go around the corner like this, into a hopper, to 2 observers like this, then also 2 observers like this, on which we have 2 repeaters, with the left one on 2 ticks. Alright, now the torch will also power this piston right here, which activates this observer here that we just placed. Now coming out from this observer, place a block with a hopper, and then observer, 2 more observers into a hopper, then 1 observer, another hopper, and then 2 more observers going up, which also gives the first pulse for these observers here. Now for these, we just connect them to this, which we connect to this observer right here, which goes to the left like this, outwards, down, into a hopper, and then we just place 3 observers like this, into a node block and a hopper, and then just 2 observers going up. Okay, so for this hopper here, we actually need some additional pulses, for which we'll be using this dust, which gets powered by this repeater, which is powered by this observer, and we just have some more observers like this. Alright, now to reach this observer, we have hopper and the block, 1 observer here, and then this piston. Okay, now we come here where the slab and the block is, and place a piston going inwards with an observer, sticky piston, a log leaf here, 1 observer going down, which gives 1 pulse to this. We also need another pulse, for which we'll use this dust, which powers this repeater, this observer that we placed at the beginning, and just go down 3 observers into a piece of dust. Alright, so now we just need to control these 6 observers here. So place blocks like this, 4 repeaters, and set these back ones to 2 ticks. Then we need some dust on the rail, which we place like this. Alright, now our toggle on the bottom here will be the sticky piston and this target block. Alright, and we'll actually start off by connecting this toggle here. So 1 observer here. Now coming out from this one, which controls this toggle, we go down and then place a normal piston here and this in for this. And now we just need 2 pulses in this line here. So we come out from these rails, observer, and 2 more like this, with a repeater on top, which is on 2 ticks, okay, like this. Block here. Now an observer right here pointing down, and 1 backwards again. 2 repeaters on 1 tick on top, and then just 3 more observers like this. And that should already be the bottom done. So let's just test it. Place our extenders in. So this already worked. Now both should fire. Alright. So now we can actually fill in our layout again. So place your extenders like this. And just reset all of this. Like so. Place your blocks here. The sticky pistons. And now our glass blocks like this. And now make sure that this resting block is right here. This piston is down. And also this target block is down. Okay, so this looks good. Let's fill in the frame. And give it a test. Alright, so it's closed. And it already also open. Yeah, it works. Alright, so I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was rather long, because the door is a little bit bigger than a lot of my other doors. But I think it's just really nice, so it's worth making a tutorial on. So, yeah. I'll see you in the next video then.